I'm getting money from my father who recently passed away. It's going to be over $200,000. I'm not the best in money management. I've heard the saying, it takes money to make money. Should I invest this money into a business? Should I save this money? What should I do if I want to become a millionaire by the time I'm in my 30s?
How long ago did your dad pass away, Nathan?
He passed away a couple months ago.
I'm sorry. So you're getting $200,000 cash?
Yes, like my brother's going to hand me a check.
Gotcha. Okay. And what do you make a year now?
So a year I make around, I'd say $35,000 a year.
Okay. So here's what I would tell you. You're calling very, very wisely to start to gather some wisdom about something you don't know anything about. You have never driven a car before, and someone just gave you car keys, right?
Correct.
And you go, well, I hear these things go fast.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so,
Right.
and yet if you remember the first time you got behind the wheel of a car, it was both freeing because you could now go places and control your own destiny, and it was terrifying. And if you don't have both of those feelings with this process, you're not wise. I'll start with, it takes money to make money is not a true statement. That's a statement that broke people say. Can you make money using money? Sure. But actually, the vast majority of people who build wealth do not build it because someone handed them $200,000. They build it because of their habits and their character. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to number one, I tell you to do is just slow way down. I would want you to move along the spectrum from exciting to boring over towards boring. Your job is to manage this money as if it's someone else's money and you're managing it for them. Your job first is not to lose it. Your job second is to maximize it. But most people, when they get handed the keys to the car, step on the gas. And meaning they think their job is to maximize it, and they end up losing it. So people that end up in your situation get money lose it very often because they make the mistake of they think it has to be exciting, it has to be sexy, it has to be wild, it has to be crazy, because if I don't maximize it, I'm doing something wrong. It takes money to make money, we all know that, and so I'm going to invest it over here, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do this. Wrong. Slow down. Number one rule, Nathan, don't put money in something you don't understand. Don't put money in something someone else tells you is a good idea and they sound like they're really smart people. Around the money business, and I've been around it 40 years, there are a lot of enthusiastic ignoramuses. They mean well, but they're dumber than a rock. And they're excited about their stupidity. And they will put you in stuff. They'll put you in stuff, man. And all your broke friends also got an opinion already, don't they? Here's a rule. If you were to invest this money and not touch it in good growth stock mutual funds, and if it made 10% rate of return on average, in 7 years it would double. You would have 400. So you'd be 32 years old. In 7 more years it would double again and it'd be 800,000. And in 7 more years it would double again and it'd be $1.6 million. And that is a boring, never touch it investment program. You're probably not going to do exactly that, but I want a little of that in the formula where you go have a life and you pretend you don't have this money and you let it grow and double and grow and double and grow and double.
People always talk about wanting to build generational wealth, yet people do not talk about how to protect their wealth and make it grow once they acquire the wealth. So when it comes to generational wealth, we are told the following. The first generation makes the money, the second generation spends the money, and by the third generation, the money is gone. So why is this happening? So first of all, the first generation, they hand over the money to the second generation without giving the second generation proper training and guidance. And this issue happens a lot with lottery winners when they get like this huge lump sum. Then they're like, I don't know what to do with this money. And as a result, most lottery winners, when they win, they usually go broke within a couple of years. And it's the same for like sports people, more so American sports people. A lot of them, they make like millions of dollars And by the time they retire, for some of them, the money's gone, or a couple years in retirement, the money's gone. And it comes back to them not understanding how to make their money grow, and them not understanding how to protect their money. So as you heard, the man called the Ramsey Show because he was getting a lump sum of money and he wasn't sure what to do with it. So he went to seek advice from someone who was much wiser than him. And it is paramount, especially when it comes to money. If you're not sure what to do, you owe it to yourself to find a teacher or trusted person who you can go to give you sort of like unbiased financial advice. And Dave Ramsey isn't going to benefit from the money that the gentleman who called is going to get. Dave Ramsey's just giving advice because he's in a place where, you know, his money's secure and he just wants to help others be financially secure. Another takeaway. So building wealth is about building healthy habits such as not spending more than you make, and living within your means. Back in the day, I used to listen to the Stone Cold podcast, and if you are a pro wrestling fan, you know a lot about Stone Cold Steve Austin. And one of the things Stone Cold Steve Austin always used to say in his podcast is live below your means. So he always talked about, he usually, even though he can afford X, he might just buy the thing just under it, just to make sure he doesn't get too comfortable. But do with that what you will. My final takeaway is the following. Don't put your money into something you don't understand. So if you're going to put your money into something, make sure you thoroughly research it and don't allow yourself to be swindled by someone who has the gift of the gab. And I think from that clip, my top takeaway, or not my top takeaway, my favorite line from the clip is the following. They mean well, but they're dumber than a rock. That is a quote right there. But if you found that clip interesting, make sure you check out the Ramsey Show on YouTube or on any podcast service you listen to, Google Podcasts, Spotify podcasts, you know, any good podcast service.